Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and quoting Max Keiser. I take full credit for moving Peter Schiff from being 100% Bitcoin stupid to less stupid. He will come around when Bitcoin tops 1 million. He hated it at $1 when I first told him to buy it. He'll love it at 1 million. Everything goes to effectively zero against Bitcoin, even gold. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin can fall below 50,000 if Magnificent 7 stocks stage another $500 billion loss. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin hodlers scooped up $23 billion in the past 30 days by that freaking dip family. We'll also be discussing Diamond Hands, Mt. Gox creditors hodl Bitcoin despite the 10-year wait. We'll also be discussing Michael Saylor says the Bitcoin strategic reserve is the Louisiana Purchase moment for the United States. And also, he just recently shared he owns more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoin personal stash, according to Bloomberg. We'll also be discussing the latest from JAN3 Samson Mow. He says Bitcoin to 1 million next year, far more likely now. I'll be sharing his synopsis of the market and why he believes we'll likely hit $1 million per coin by next year. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, subscribe, then hit that bell icon, turn on all the notifications. That way you actually get notified each and every day when I go live. I'm your host, JV. It's August 7th, 2024. Markets are correcting back again today. We're currently sitting just above $54,800, according to Coin360, with BTC down 3.5% on the day. We have Ether down 6%, trading at 2,300. We have XRP in the green alongside Tron and DOT, while Solana, Cardano, AVAX, and BNB all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the crypto market cap is all the way down to $1.9 trillion. That's mind-boggling how small that is. Bitcoin still holding on to the $1 trillion milestone as far as the market cap is concerned. 95 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance on the climb. Look at that, 56%, the lowest we have seen the Ether dominance in years. Now all the way down to 14.6%. Who would have thunketh? And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we got PopGap, we got WIF, we got XRP, SU, XLM, and BSV. Which alts, if any, family, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get that visual perspective on the day. Safe to say 95, maybe 90 to 95% of the market correcting and in the red. Pretty much a lot of bloodshed. And zooming out on the monthly, very similar, roughly 95% of the market bleeding and in the red Rec City. And checking out Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today, we bounced from extreme fear yesterday, which was a 17, the lowest we have been in a long time, to now 29. We did have a little bounce back as well when we tapped the new local bottom of 49. So last week was a 61, last month a 28 in fear. But what are your thoughts? Where do you feel the Bitcoin price action will likely take us next? Holla at your boy. But let's continue and kick it off with, well, we did our market watch, but let's dive into a little bit of Bitcoin TA, astrology for the broskies, shall we? Headline here reads, Bitcoin needs 59,100 weekly close amid doubt over the Bitcoin price. All-time high in this piece. That's right. Bitcoin has a new minimum price target for the week, but hitting it does not take all the pressure off the bulls. According to Rat Capital, he said Bitcoin's next weekly close must hit 59 G's, baby. That's right. Bitcoin is doing its best to recover from a trip to 6-month lows of 49.5 this week, but the bears could easily reclaim control. Analyzing the long-term time frame landscape on the Biddy, Rat Capital identified the potential for an enduring Bitcoin price bounce, which could keep it in line with the behavior since March's all-time high. Quoting him here, it has happened. Now, Bitcoin will need to weekly close above 59,110 later this week to perform a successful reclaim of the bottom of the black channel as support in an effort to confirm a return in the pattern as outlined here in the chart. The pattern, however, has problems of its own. Since the March record, Bitcoin delivered a succession of lower highs and lower lows as resistance compounds at 70,000 and above. And it's crazy, the time frame from almost hitting 70,000 like a week ago to dropping all the way to 49. Isn't that mind-boggling? But zooming even further out, another synonymous trader sees additional problems with the Bitcoin market strength, highlighting the RSI levels on the monthly time frames. He warned that a succession of lower highs is wearing away as the chances of a return to price discovery quoting the analyst here, word of warning. Technically, this looks like we had the cycle top already. And not only that, we also had a bigger cycle top, meaning a lot of the elasticity has gone out of the PA. And you can see that from the decreasing RSI at each high, referring to the relative strength index. Now, Arthur Hayes links liquidity moves to Bitcoin optimism. That perspective contrasts with hopes that global macroeconomic changes will enable a broad crypto and risk asset comeback. This, the theory argues, involves a return to quantitative easing worldwide, which would see central banks flood the markets with liquidity. Money printer go. And so, yeah, Arthur Hayes, the former CEO of BitMEX, concluded that the U.S. would likely begin adding liquidity within days. Quoting him here, bad girl Yellen, Miss Binance, will inject $301 billion to $1 trillion between now and year end. He predicted in a characteristic tone used to refer to Janet Yellen. Hayes added that Bitcoin's performance in the near term would depend on the interplay of the US dollar and the Japanese yen pair. Following the unwinding of the yen carry trade, Bitcoin traded at roughly 57.5 a little earlier this morning, and we're dumping once again ahead of the Wall Street Open. And before I dive into the live charts, here's a pretty cool post from Max. Max actually agreed with Peter Schiff on something, which is a rarity. So Peter Schiff wrote this the other day. Owning Bitcoin and ETF defeats the entire purpose of owning it in the first place. It is no longer decentralized. It's not peer-to-peer. It's easily seized by the authorities. Can't be used as a currency for payments or transferred across borders. It's not your keys, not your coins. Max put 100 and added, I'd take full credit for moving Peter Schiff from being 100% Bitcoin stupid to less stupid. He will come around when Bitcoin tops 1 million per coin. He hated it at $1 per coin when I first told him to buy it. He'll love it at 1 million. Everything goes to effectively zero against Bitcoin, even gold. So shout out to the high priest, Max Kaiser, and let me know if you agree with that. And kudos for Peter Schiff actually getting something correct about Bitcoin. That's long overdue. That's a long time coming. And here we're looking at some of the live chart action family. You should be able to see on your screen. You can see via TradingView, via Coinbase, we're hovering just shy of $55,000, but we do got a rising wedge formation. This is a 1 hour chart, and we do have a target sitting down at 51,100, not too far off from the current price action. And let's zoom out a little. We'll check out different perspectives here for you guys. Again, this is live and in the flesh. If you're gaining value out of this and you're entertained, repost it, spread the word, share the stream. Much appreciated. But yeah, here's the 4 hour. We did get 2 big red candles, but now we're followed by a green candle. So we're moving back up, which is good. Let's see where we go by the end of the day. But as you can see, that's the 4 hour. And let's zoom out a little further. We'll check out the 1 day chart. As you can see on your screen here, a lot of carnage over the past few days. Big red, big red, big red, corrective green, and it looks like we're back in the red, at least on the daily chart. And we do have a target sitting at roughly $47,700. Zooming out a little further, we'll look at the 1 week, which is typically pretty bullish. You can see here we still have that massive cup and handle breakout target sitting just shy of 126,000 on the 1 week chart. And let's zoom out a little further, and we'll check out the monthly, as we can see here. And here on the monthly chart, you can see we had those 7 green consecutive candle closes, then a little sideways trading action, and a big red candle to end the month of July. Unfortunately, we'll see where August takes us. Typically, August is a bearish month. So if we have another bearish month for August, I expect fireworks in September. However, there's no telling what Bitcoin can do. Bitcoin has no top, as fiat has no bottom. So it'll be interesting. We'll be watching the charts, but let me know your thoughts. Where do you feel price action likely to take us next? Holla at your boy. But yo, we just broke down the latest TA. Let's continue, eh? Let's discuss what's happening. Our next headline reads, Bitcoin can fall below 50 Gs again if the Magnificent Seven stocks stage another $500 billion loss. That's right. The stocks lost over $500 billion just recently. It's mind-boggling. So the Magnificent Seven stocks has seen a sharp decline, threatening to bring more downward pressure on the biddy price. The Magnificent Seven, a moniker for some of the top-performing tech stocks like NVIDIA, Microsoft, lost over $650 billion in cumulative market capitalization during regular trading. On August 5th, 1 day, $650 billion loss. mind-boggling. Shout out Mateus. I just want to say I greatly appreciate your super family. Thank you for supporting the stream. Despite staging a slight recovery since, another potential decline in the top tech stocks could lead to a lower Bitcoin price, according to Akashi Nasa, founder of Chimp Exchange. Here's what he or she shared. The correlation between the stock market performance and the crypto values is well documented. As major tech stocks falter, investment sentiment generally shift away from alternative assets, including the biddy. The correlation between Bitcoin and tech stocks gained even more importance as the tech-heavy NASDAQ has entered a significant correction, which could spill over into the crypto space, according to not NASA, but NASA. Very similar. It's like NASA, but with 2 S's. But anyways, while stocks are generally more resilient to market volatility, another decline in the Magnificent Seven could hurt the biddy, according to Alvin Can, the COO of BitGet Wallet. Quoting him here, if the Magnificent Seven, almost sounds like a Marvel movie or something, the Magnificent Seven, including Amazon and Apple, are falling, investors would want some of the insulation from even more risky assets like Bitcoin. This means that the extreme capital flight into the broader financial market can also weigh into the Bitcoin price. Pressure from the tech stocks, along with other crypto-specific catalysts, can potentially threaten another dip below the 50,000 level, according to him. Quoting him here, the ongoing market slump, accounting for 32.3% of the drop from the former all-time high for the biddy, has reignited speculations of the further drop to 40 Gs. However, the price of Bitcoin is not crashing in isolation, ultimately saying if Bitcoin does crash in the 40s, everything is going to crash alongside it. Other factors influencing the Bitcoin and crypto prices include the Bank of Japan's latest interest rate cut, along with aggressive ETH selling from market makers like Jump Trading. That's right, they're getting rid of their ETH. That's why ETH has been on such a decline, not just the price action, but also the market cap hitting a low we haven't seen in a very long time. Now, the macro Bitcoin bottom is in, according to this analyst, as I pointed out actually earlier from Rec Capital. He wrote here, we are the orange circle. And I mean, like deja vu, every 4 years, another halving cycle, post-halving, we go parabolic, we hit new cycle highs. This time, for the first time in the Bitcoin cycle, we hit a new all-time high. Pre-halving, before the halving on April 19th, but we haven't really ran up yet. So some would say we haven't even began this bull market. So let me know your thoughts with some of that. And the US Bitcoin ETF recorded 3 consecutive days of net outflows with over 148 million worth of outflows on August 6th, according to Farside data here on your screen. So there you have it, family. What are your thoughts? Let me know. But yo, next story of the day, let's break it down. Welcome everyone just joining us. Already 1,100 people on the stream. All thanks to you guys. So give it up for yourselves. All those reposts truly help. Shout out Mateus. He just became a HODL Gang member for the next 4 months and wrote, don't sell, keep forever. Sell only when you must, with a flex. Thank you, broski. I appreciate that. Shout out all the HODL Gang members of the channel. Greatly appreciate the support. So check this out. The whales know what's up. Bitcoin hodlers scooped a modest $23 billion worth of Bitcoin in the past 30 days. Hey, where the smart money at? Whales, right? Long-term hodlers, diamond hands, laser eyes, where you at, fam? Bitcoin permanent hodler addresses have accumulated nearly 23 billion of the asset over the past month. According to the latest on-chain data, Crypto Quant founder, CEO Ki-Jong-Hu exclaimed, I'm pretty sure something is happening behind the scenes. The comment came in reference to the recent spike in 30-day demand change for permanent Bitcoin holders. Now around 22.8 billion worth, which is 404,000 BTC, has moved to permanent hodler addresses over the past 30 days, and it's clearly accumulation, according to the Crypto Quant CEO. I mean, the charts don't lie. Check it out. Bitcoin 30-day demand change, permanent hodler addresses, and ETFs. He predicted that within 1 year, some entities such as TradeFi institutions, companies, governments, and others will announce they have acquired Bitcoin in Q3 2024. That's right, quoting him here. And retail investors will regret not buying it because they were worried about the German government selling Mt. Gox or whatever the macroeconomic shit was going on. Now, in a separate post on X, he added another couple of bullish factors, such as Bitcoin miner activity, quoting him again, miner capitulation nearly over, adding that the hash rate is nearing all-time highs in the US. Mining costs are around 43,000 per coin. So the hash rate is likely to remain stable unless prices dip below this level. Quoting him again, retail investors are mostly absent, similar to mid-2020. He added that there has been reduced old whale activity, with long-term hodlers over the 3 years selling between March and June, but no significant selling pressure from the old whales at this time. So based on this data, I believe the bull market is still intact. If the market doesn't recover in 2 weeks, I'll reconsider. I follow smart money. So if I am wrong, it means the new whales are either misguided or underestimated the macro environment. And in late July, he observed the flows of permanent hodler addresses, such as ETFs, stating that not all remaining BTC is in custody wallets, but whales are clearly accumulating, and it's an unprecedented level. That's right. Even Michael Saylor announced the other day converting more convertible notes to buy another $2 billion worth of the Bitcoin. The accumulation appears to have increased since the market slump August 5th, which sent Bitcoin price crashing to 49 Gs. The asset has recovered roughly 14% and then to reclaim 57 on August 6th. Moreover, the crypto greed and fear index hit extreme fear yesterday, the lowest we've seen in a while, but we bounced back up here today. So there you go. Yo, let me know your thoughts with what's happening in the markets. Next story of the day, let's discuss the Mt. Gox hodl, right? The Mt. Gox funds ain't moving. Here we go. Mt. Gox creditors hodl Bitcoin despite a decade of waiting. Talk about patience, diamond hands, and laser eyes. Mt. Gox was once a dominant crypto exchange, but a devastating security breach caused it to collapse and left approximately 127,000 creditors waiting to recover their funds. Those creditors have waited over a decade to get their hands on their biddy, but surprisingly, many are still just holding on to it. Data shows that nearly half of the Bitcoin owed to Mt. Gox creditors, 59,000 out of the 141,000 BTC, has already been distributed. And despite over $3.2 billion in Bitcoin appropriated to creditors, the markets haven't seen a sell-off related to that distribution. So while the Bitcoin price plunged nearly 20% over the past week, that sell-off was seemingly completely unrelated to the Mt. Gox distributions. And instead, it was the result of the perfect storm based on the weaker economic data in the US and the Bank of Japan raising interest rates, ending what's known as the yen carry trade. And according to a report from Glassnode, the Mt. Gox distribution represents the final chapter in a major market overhang over the industry since 2013 from a psychological perspective. And opting to receive claims in Bitcoin rather than fiat currency and resisting attempts from several entities to acquire their claims throughout the legal process could mean creditors have a long-term hodler mentality. Of course they do. This is common sense. This is the smart money. These are the Bitcoin OGs, people that discovered Bitcoin over a decade ago. Of course they're hodling. So I'm not surprised. That long-term hodler mentality may be behind the lack of creditor related sell-offs. Bitpanda Deputy CEO Lucas said that while there are factors unique to each individual creditor, it's worth remembering that Mt. Gox was one of the earliest exchanges around. So people using it, we are early adoptions, or I think he meant to say adopters, but nonetheless. For them, Bitcoin isn't just an asset, it's a technology and an idea that they really believe in. That doesn't mean they will never sell, but it will affect when they might sell and in what volumes. And also, considering they're OGs and ahead of the curve and they're smart, they know better than to sell right after halving. This is the most opportunistic time in the cycle, right? 18 months post-halving. Expect fireworks. So to sell at a time like this would be idiocracy at its finest, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts, fam. Now, Maria Carolla, CEO of crypto exchange StealthX, told Cointelegraph these creditors are opting to hold on to their coins, primarily due to the expectations of future price appreciation, aiming for potentially higher returns. That's right. Bitcoin has number go up technology. We know that. She added that liquidating their funds right away could mean significant capital gains taxes. That too, it pays to hodl, eh? While holding onto the funds could allow investors to delay these taxes or wait for more favorable market conditions. That's right, because unrealized gains are untaxable events. There you go. HODL, fam. StealthX's CEO also added that many creditors view Bitcoin as a long-term asset with substantial value appreciation potential. You can say that again. Glassnode's report details, given the extensive period between the Mt. Gox collapse and the current state of the market. Various creditors likely remain somewhat active in the crypto space. Some investors have revealed themselves as Mt. Gox creditors who received some of their claims. One investor published a post accompanied by an email revealing their account was successfully credited, revealing that they got 20% of the funds they had on the exchange. Nevertheless, they plan to keep on holding onto their Bitcoin by moving it into a cold storage wallet. The smartest thing any Bitcoiner can do, learn how to properly self-custody and put it in a cold storage wallet family. Though, in replies to other users, they suggest Bitcoin Cash will be sold soon. And I agree with that sentiment. Who the hell wants to hold on to the Bitcoin Cash trash? So if you're holding on to Bitcoin Cash trash, there may be a massive dump because the market is way smaller in comparison to Bitcoin, so it's easier to crash. Now, other users on the platform suggest they would be selling their Bitcoin Cash, converting it into Bitcoin. Smart. This conviction in Bitcoin could be the result of several factors supporting the crypto's bullish narrative. Now, if you don't know the background, Mt. Gox collapsed back in 2014, a decade ago, after the exchange lost 850,000 BTC in a massive security breach that sent the price plummeting. Binance research rep said that Mt. Gox creditors were forced to hold on to their coins as the price surged over 10,000% to over 65,000 per coin before the recent correction. They added, many investors, having been forced holders for a decade, have witnessed incredible price appreciation. Given this context, it is not surprising that they continue to hold their Bitcoin, and they added that this level of recognition could have been unimaginable for Mt. Gox investors in 2014. Now, seeing the continued growth and acceptance in their industry, many Mt. Gox creditors may become even stronger believers in Bitcoin and it is future potential, choosing to hodl further. So there you go, yo. But yeah, let's dive into our next story of the day. Here's the latest with the Giga Chad, Mikey Saylor. And you can see XRP mooning right now. Again, 59 cents. See that little green box on the bottom of your screen. But let's dive into the latest from Saylor and check this out. Michael Saylor says he owns more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoin personal stash. I believe MicroStrategy is probably worth close to $15 billion. So collectively, that man is responsible for $16 billion worth of Bitcoin. Pretty mind-boggling. And he's in the process of purchasing another $2 billion worth of the bitty. So shout out Mikey Saylor. But here's the headline for today. Saylor says the Bitcoin strategic reserve is the Louisiana Purchase moment for the United States of America. We love you. So yeah, buying a strategic reserve of Bitcoin would be another Louisiana Purchase moment for the U.S. According to Saylor, the outspoken co-founder of business intelligence company MicroStrategy. Speaking August 6th to CNBC, that was yesterday, Saylor, whose company MicroStrategy owns approximately $8 billion worth of Bitcoin. I thought it was $15 billion, so I don't know where this number come from, but nonetheless, enthusiastically endorsed Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis's proposed Bitcoin Act, which would compel the U.S. Treasury to gradually accumulate 1 million BTC, or almost 5% of the total supply of the Bitcoin. Quoting Saylor here, Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory for $15 million in 1803 and nearly double the size of the United States. Saylor said, Bitcoin is scarce, desirable digital property. It is a great idea to trade a little bit of currency or paper for some place that billions of people are going to want to be in 100 years. Good point there. Saylor is famously bullish on Bitcoin and forecasted that the crypto's price would reach approximately 13 million per coin by 2045 during a mega bullish keynote speech on July 26th at the Bitcoin Nashville 2024 conference. How many of you watched that? Let me know. Saylor told CNBC that Bitcoin 2024 was very catalytic and marked a inflection point for the bitty, noting that the conference attracted U.S. presidential candidates, governors, senators, and House members who came out in support of Bitcoin. Quoting Saylor again, now it's possible to discuss nation states holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And if nation states are going to buy it, then it is reasonable for institutions, corporations, and individuals to buy it as well. He has urged investors to become a triple maxi for the Bitcoin bulls, pouring all available resources into Bitcoin buying with the goal of obtaining a 9-figure net worth in the coming decades. Yes, please. Saylor's comments come one day after the entire crypto market saw a $510 billion drop in total market cap during a recent market crash. The Bitcoin price declined approximately 18%, but has recovered some. Long-term oriented investors have been notably resilient, with BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust iBit seeing zero net outflows on August 5th, despite the current market turbulence. So there you have it, yo. Do you think this man on your screen, Mikey Saylor, will become the richest man on the planet one day, potentially a trillionaire? Run the math, yo. If someone owned 1 million Bitcoin and Bitcoin became worth $1 million per BTC, that equals trillionaire status. Currently, there's no trillionaires on the planet. However, Sleepy Joe Biden says there's 1,000 of them. When he did that debate versus Trump before he dropped out of the race, he claimed there was 1,000 trillionaires in the planet. But we all know Biden doesn't even know where he is, but that's a topic for another day. Now for our featured story of the day. Bitcoin to 1 million per coin next year is far more likely now, according to JAN3's Samson Mow. Shout out Samson Mow. First and foremost, always doing big things with Bitcoin adoption around the world. In fact, he shared recently on stage, and I'm going to assume this is in Taiwan, Taiwan's goal should be to accumulate 83,000 Bitcoin for its reserves. Now, this is a very divine omen, this number. I'll tell you why, numerology-wise. First and foremost, JB was born in 83. That's right. And 8 plus 3 is my favorite number. You guessed it, 11. So definitely a divine omen there. And I agree. Now, I got to respect Samson Mow because he's all about nation-state adoption. I mean, this is what he does. His mission is to orange pill countries and nation states with Bitcoin. And that's precisely what he does. He goes around the world. He travels. He goes to Mexico. He goes, all these different countries. He goes to Colombia, gifts the freaking president Bitcoin, spreading Bitcoin awareness, Bitcoin adoption. Could you imagine what country will be next to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender? You already know the game theory, family, is in full effect, in play. And also, this is the tweet, $1 million Bitcoin in the next year is far more likely now. Few, referring to few, understand. And had already 190,000 views. He just shared this 2 days ago on August 5th. So shout out Samson Mow, and let's dive a little deeper into this article, which was just published around this story. So yeah, Samson Mow, Bitcoin proponent and chief executive at the JAN3 company that helps nation states to adopt the BIDI, has sent an important message to the global crypto community, doubling down on his 1 million Bitcoin price prediction. He provided several major triggers, which we're going to discuss, that may help the world's leading crypto make that massive price jump. So let's discuss it, shall we? The JAN3 chief tweeted he now believes that the Bitcoin odds of reaching 1 million within the next year are much more higher. Let me know if you agree first and foremost with that prediction. And answering a question about what will make Bitcoin start trading at a true risk-off asset, Mao said that currently this is impossible to tell for sure. However, he named several factors that he believes may help Bitcoin do just that. Naming them rather offhandedly, he said that Apple may move its free cash to Bitcoin, and Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, could do that as well. He reckons the latter seems less likely since the company's founder, the legendary investor Buffett, is a strong and long-term Bitcoin critic who called it rat poison squared during the annual shareholder meeting back in 2018. So yeah, someone wrote here, I would think Bitcoin is a risk-off asset, but it doesn't trade like one yet. What will cause the shift? And Samson responded, no one knows for sure. Apple may be moving cash to BTC. Berkshire may be moving cash to BTC. There are many triggers, and any one of them can trigger the Omega. And he's referencing the Omega candle, which ultimately is a $100,000 candle on the daily chart. When we say God candle, that represents 10,000. And if we say demigod candle, like we just saw the other day, that's $5,000 price climb on the daily chart. So overall, Mao said that there are many triggers, and any one of them can trigger the Omega, which would send Bitcoin towards that $1 million price action. Now I actually want to check out his X profile. First and foremost, make sure you're following him. He also works with Bitfinex, Nayib Bukele in El Salvador. He's a big proponent for Bitcoin adoption around the world. That's why I say I got so much respect for Samson Mow. I actually want to pull up the picture with him and Willy Woo, an on-chain analyst I really respect. So let me go to media and just share with you, because I've never seen these two together before. That's why I used it in the thumbnail for today's YouTube, stream. He wrote, finally got to meet Willy Woo in person. Willy is trying to convince me to raise a large round for JAN3 to ramp up efforts to get more nation states issuing Bitcoin bonds and start a JAN3 micro strategy play with our own Bitcoin reserve. What are your thoughts? Now, it's pretty powerful. right there. And we also have the Japanese version of MicroStrategy doing mass adoption in Bitcoin as well. I believe that company is MetaPlanet. But kudos to on-chain analyst Willy Woo. I've been following him for a long time. And also Samson Mow. I love what they're doing with Bitcoin adoption around the world. And let me know your thoughts on 1 million as Bitcoin price. Anything is possible, though I don't think it's the most likely scenario. Personally, I know it's possible. Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom. Your purchasing power in fiat is doomed. Your purchasing power in Bitcoin is blessed. So act accordingly and treat your Bitcoin as the savings, knowing your Bitcoin is blessed like Max Holloway. You feel what I'm saying? That's for my UFC fans out there.